Ọpẹ́ yẹ mí, ojoojúmọ́ ni màá ṣọpẹ́ fún ìfẹ́ tèmi. Ọ̀rẹ́ mi, olólùfẹ́ mi, ọpẹ́ yẹ mí. Diamond girl, African baby, ọpẹ́.
Hello, everybody. Hey, welcome to the live.
Ladies and gentlemen, we greet you specially with the love of God. PK is going to be joining shortly.
Yeah,
So Valentine's Day is a day for couples, right, to celebrate their love.
definitely.
Okay, it's a day that is set aside for couples to celebrate their love. So for me, it's another day to show you love. And I say another day because
You show me love
I show you
every
love.
day.
Do you
Every
understand?
day. Okay.
Right, I'm pretty sure that last week, I spoiled you a little, right? I bought you some gifts.
Okay.
Some gifts that, maybe we don't even term as normal gifts, right?
Okay.
Just because of the price. So I didn't have to wait till Valentine's Day to do whatever I need to do for you, right? But for me, Valentine's Day is another opportunity
To show me.
to love on you, to love on my wife.
And I agree. But I also think that I equally give you the same energy back for Valentine's
Absolutely.
Day. I don't just buy you boxers and socks. There we
There we go.
Yay!
Hello, Michael.
Hello, PK.
Hello, PK.
How are you guys doing?
We're fine. We're fine. Happy pre-Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's Eve.
Happy Valentine's Eve.
How is PK? You're in SA at the moment, isn't it?
I'm where?
Are you in SA at the moment?
Yes.
South Africa.
Yes, we're in South Africa. Have you guys ever been though?
Never been, oh.
Well, hopefully, maybe that's my Valentine's Day surprise. Maybe that's my surprise. Maybe we're going tomorrow.
I trust Ayo now. I trust Ayo. Don't worry. Me, I trust Ayo.
PK, you're putting me on the spot, oh. We are being put on the spot. So, how is Valentine's looking over there?
Today or yesterday, we were at the mall and a lot of people were buying flowers. A lot of guys, like you were mentioning, most guys celebrated for women. So a lot of guys were buying flowers, even to high school. I saw 2 high school students with flowers. I forgot I was out of Nigeria. I almost called them and be like, what are you people?
I'll tell your mommy.
I'll tell your mommy and your
They were in their
daddy.
school uniform. They were in their school uniform, and both of them came to the mall to buy flowers. And I wanted to draw their ear and be like, "Where are your parents? What are you people doing?"
I mean, it's so crazy that it is even starting from
That age.
that age. That it is starting from that age. And I always say that at that age, what exactly do you even know?
Yeah, they should be teaching them another dimension of love at that age. Not necessarily romantic. One, you see, because one of the mistakes we have done as adults is that we have put age restriction on voting, age restrictions on drinking, age restrictions on driving, but no age restriction on relationship and sex. So the reason why we don't allow people vote until they are 18 and co is because we are saying we don't trust your judgment. We don't trust your quality of decision. So why are we slack when it comes to telling young people that, hey, you're too young to be thinking or talking about love and romance and sex? And a lot of pregnancies, unwanted pregnancies, happen at those, teenage years because they are playing with something they don't know how impactful it is. Sex is all fun and games until somebody gets pregnant.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, until somebody gets
Your life
pregnant,
never remains the same.
Exactly.
until somebody gets infected with an STI, the deadly ones.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's funny because I feel like more so, I remember Valentine's Day when I was younger, but I feel like now more than ever, it's become so commercialized, and it's almost like a bank holiday. And when I went to work today, they had a balloon set up. Even one flower woman came to be selling flowers, and people were there buying flowers. Someone was buying chocolate. They brought chocolates. They brought flowers to my workplace where we should have been working, and they've made such a big deal out of it. So much to the point that those who don't celebrate, you can almost feel under pressure. Like, am I doing something wrong?
Am I okay?
Am I okay? Because you've fallen into the hype, the trap. I'm telling you, by next year in the UK, February 14 will be a bank holiday. Mark my words. It will be a bank holiday.
I know that people are, but so while some people want it to be a bank holiday, there's also the other population, right, who actually want it to be cancelled, right? So there's a good percentage of people, right, who again feel like the pressure around Valentine's Day is too much. The depression as a result of the after effects from Valentine's Day is too much, and they're like, let us just cancel this Valentine's Day, right? Valentine's Day is only favors couples, is an agenda for couples. Singles are not in mind for Valentine's Day, and anyone who is single and is feeling lonely, right, is negatively impacted by Valentine's Day. So again, so you have those different communities of people, with regards to Valentine's Day.
I just think, again, a lot of the problems human beings face is tied to self-esteem. Self-esteem. And I've been trusting God to bring out a lot of materials along those lines. I have courses I want to create. I even have a self-esteem Bible I want to do, because everything I've discovered rises on self-esteem. Some people live in areas they have no business living in, paying school fees, they have no business paying, buying clothes, they have no business buying, just because they want to impress someone. They want to, give an image of themselves to someone that really doesn't care. They're trying to impress someone, because from when I was a young believer and a young person, one of the things that God helped me with was that I was never moved with the fact that everybody around me was in a relationship. That didn't move me. I knew what I was looking for. Pastor Mildred is the first and only relationship I have had, and that is because I didn't fall into the pressure of just having relationships for having sake. I was looking for a wife, and I waited till I found a wife. So I wasn't going to do all this. I'm just dating this person first, because, everybody has something. I need to have something while I'm waiting. No. I waited till I found a wife. I saw many nice people, but I knew they were not my wife. So I had to wait. So if people can overcome that pressure, of saying it's Valentine's and people are hugging and kissing and buying flowers and receiving flowers, and allow yourself to know that that's not what defines me. That was not what defines love, and things like that, and wait it out. It's like saying on World Cancer Day, if you don't have cancer, you feel bad.
Exactly. Nobody feels bad.
Yeah. So why are we feeling bad on a day the world is celebrating love, just because we don't have a romantic relationship?
Exactly.
And also, sorry, go ahead, PK.
Yes, and even when you do have a romantic relationship, I still don't want people to be pressured into doing things just because it's Valentine. Your love life is not dependent on just one day, because some people will do the pictures and the fake gifts for just this day, but there are remaining 364 days of the year. They're not building love, and that makes that day's own useless. It's just for the gram, it's just for the show. And I pity this generation because they literally do everything for the gram. They don't have a private life anymore. Nothing is happening in their private life. All the life they have is just the life on the gram. That's it. For me and PM, there are times we post things, but we know that the real game is when nobody's watching. The real game is when there are no cameras. That's when the real thing is done.
Yeah.
You know, so but for these young people, everything from the kind of weddings people do now, now people are doing weddings, the amount of pictures they take. There is proposal picture, there's pre-wedding picture. Now people even on the wedding day run like 5, 6 a.m. to go and take pictures in their wedding dress and wedding suit before the wedding. Then they do after party, then they do wedding picture. Madness. There's just so much effort on the show. And when you put that kind of effort on the show, usually you will not put the effort, you know, in the private life, which is the one that matters the most.
Yeah. Like PK, I think you've just touched on so many things there. So many things, from the self-esteem to this issue with the show. And once you mentioned show, all I could think about was performance, right? So everybody wants to perform, right? And then because of what we are seeing now, there's now also pressure to outperform. So we're looking at who is the highest performer.
It's a world war. That one is a war.
You want to beat the highest bidder or the highest performer so that you can get the accolades, right, from people who could actually care less. So even this pressure is not only on the singles, the pressure is also on the couples.
Yes.
Because couples are feeling the heat.
They want to be couple goals.
They want to be couple
They
goals.
want to look like the best married couple.
Because you see couple Lagbaja, somebody has given them Valentine's gift of Bentley, of Range Rover, of Bugatti, right? And then this other person is feeling like, is this not this other couple that live down the road?
See your fellow man.
See your fellow man, see your fellow women. You know, and then there's a lot of pressure. So as Valentine's Day is building up, right, couples are feeling the pressure. Oh my God, do I need to go and borrow money? So people actually take loans, PK,
to look good,
in order to impress partners. You take a loan, you do things, you use your credit card, you overspend, right? Because you're trying to buy something you cannot afford. And what I always say is that if you are in a relationship where you have to prove, right, that listen, with material things and with financial gifts is how I'm going to show you love, and be spending money I don't have, and the partner is enabling that behavior, then perhaps we need to consider whether you're in a full, true, loving relationship, or whether you are just in one of the relationships that I tag as a forced love, a forced relationship. Because where it's true love, right, you wouldn't be going out of your way and be punishing yourself. Right? And this other person wouldn't let you punish yourself because they want to receive a gift that they know you cannot afford.
And again, I think it comes down to being content as well. Content in each season. If you're not content in your single season, you are not going. Marriage is not going to suddenly make you be that content person and happy. So if you're comparing yourself during your single season, you are 100% going to compare yourself when you're married. You're going to compare yourself to the people next door. You're going to compare your husband to the other husband, your children to the other children. And the thing about comparison, you will always fall short. There's always going to be someone that is better than you, because you're just not the best. You're just not the best.
And so you know, sometimes, and even sometimes where the person you're even comparing yourself to might just be faking it. So you are being depressed over nothing. You know, there are people that have posted this week, my boo, my babe, and by next month you see that they are separated or they are divorced. So they were just doing that for the show. As a counselor, there are people I've counseled or I'm counseling, and they will say, oh, we're planning to separate, we can't do this anymore. And the same weekend of the day they came for a session, they are posting themselves hugging, posting themselves kissing and saying my boo. And you know this is not real. These people are on the verge of divorce. They're on the verge of separation. So it doesn't even make sense to compare yourself with anybody.
It doesn't.
That is just absolutely crazy and wild, because we're actually going to touch on that. And that's why we should not, again, it's not everything that we see on the social media, right, that we should believe. And that's why we always say that, because what you just said now is so true. It's so true about the whole faking it. That's because some people believe in faking it till you make it. But let's leave that one aside. Let's leave that one aside. Because PK, do you know that in the UK, in Valentine's, it is recorded that there's a 40% increase in divorce filings. Around Valentine's period, either just before Valentine's or after Valentine's, there's a spike
of
the number of divorces,
because that's boiling point.
Because of this Valentine.
What's the cause of that?
So again, just looking at some of the research, it has to do with people feeling that this is now an opportunity to actually just go because I am not happy in this relationship, or I'm not happy in this marriage.
So basically, because of what they are seeing around them, they suddenly become dissatisfied with what's going on in their lives.
Yes. Absolutely. They become dissatisfied, and again, it probably comes from the comparison. Then it's not also another cause, right, which is due to the affairs. Okay, so prior to the Valentine's period, right, there was already side chick and there was already side guy, right? And then what happens is that Valentine's Day, the cheating partner gives an excuse to say, I have to go somewhere.
The day of reckoning.
Exactly.
The day of reckoning.
So they go to the side chick, you go to the side guy. And after
because as a rule, if they don't spend February 14 with you, you are the side chick or side guy.
So some people are going to find out tomorrow. Some people are going to know their fate tomorrow. They'll just get a call. Sorry, baby, I can't make it. I'm stuck in traffic.
There's work.
I'm saying there's work. Just know.
The thing that PK, some of these people now, they know that if you do it on the day, then it's obvious.
Yeah, so they do it the day before.
So they do it from 3 days before.
They set them.
From 3 days before, they go incommunicado.
Yes.
Either my phone was stolen, they arrested me, right? I got all sorts of excuses. So they do it 3 days before, so that it's not obvious that it's just that Valentine's period.
Oh God.
You know,
people are sneaky these days.
And this thing happened to a friend of mine. It happened to a friend of mine. I don't know if we have time for the full story. But the long and short of the story
Wait, before you share the story, please, if you are watching from Scotland, we're on tour in Scotland first weekend in March. So please, if you have friends and family in Scotland, me and Pastor Mildred are going to be in Aberdeen and in Glasgow. So please, tickets are available on my bio. Please go get your tickets. There's still early bird on. I think it ends anytime from now. So tell someone to tell someone, single or married, Scotland, we're coming to you first weekend in March. All right? So please don't forget. And if you're in Canada, if you're in Edmonton or Saskatoon, we're also coming to you in the month of May. So please take note of that. And for all the ladies, Pastor Mildred has Wow Man book reading in London. So for those asking in London, that's something you can attend. We'll be in London doing the book reading. And some other places we'll be ministering in the UK. So look out, Birmingham, Tab London, some other places. So please look out if you're in the whole of UK so that you can meet with us. I'll be in Birmingham also. All right, so look out. All right, so Ayo, please, I want to hear this story.
So yes, UK people, let's show up to Scotland, okay?
Yes.
Because it's not just people in Scotland. Anywhere in the UK,
you can come. It's accessible.
It's accessible, isn't it, to Scotland? So as I was saying, so many stories. So it happened to one of my friends a couple years ago that during this Valentine's period, his girlfriend disappeared. PK. He was worried sick. He's off the radar. No phone available, no calls, no text. So a few days before, there was normal text and normal calls. I'm looking forward to Valentine's Day, my boo, blah, blah, blah. So they had planned that she was going to come over and, going to, because they were living in different cities, that she would come over on the Valentine's and all that. And then all of a sudden, the next day, I think this was now a day before Valentine's, sent text, no response. Put a call through. Call did not go through. What's happening? For 3 days.
So when he told you, what did you say to him?
Wait now. So for 3 days, no communication. She just disappeared. And then this guy calls me. He said, I don't know where my babe do. He's worried. This one, that one. Do I know who? And I said, what about her friends? What about this? What about that? Yes. He said he tried to call one of the friends. The friend also said they do not know where she was. And then he was just there worried. Valentine's Day came. Nothing. She was still absent. It was now Valentine's night. The night or the next morning, early hours of the next morning, PK, she called crying, saying that she was kidnapped.
No.
She said, I was kidnapped.
Ayo, is it a real life story or you're writing a script? Are you making this up?
That's why I want him to tell me his reaction.
Real life story.
Because this Ayo is bad. He did not agree for the girl. He did not agree.
Real life story. In fact, maybe because my friend is married now, I would have even brought him on to say, come and share your story. Real life story. She said that they kidnapped her, and then she disguised everything, so she was a bit rough. When he she come and pick her, he now went to pick her somewhere far, 1 hour that they kidnapped her, but it was a lie. And PK, do you know why? Do you know how we found out it was a lie? Because about a week after,
Ayope went to do investigation.
I didn't do investigation.
I did investigation.
But the gist came to me, right? First of all, that they saw her.
Wow.
She was in one hotel.
Exactly.
They saw her in one big hotel where some big boys go, right?
Wow.
And they saw her just the day before the Valentine, or that day of Valentine's.
Wow.
Then later, he also now found out because they told me that I should tell him. And I said, if I say it, if you ask me now, who I go ask?
Yes.
I said, it is on my mouth that you will hear that pastor, let me not say much. So, and I said, please tell him by yourself. For me, I don't really have the mind to tell him, So yes, over time, about a week after, he now found out. He was heartbroken.
Wow. But did he confront her?
Oh, yes.
Did she come?
He confronted her eventually, right? And obviously, she denied and denied.
Yes.
But later on, she started twisting the story, saying that yes, they kidnapped her, but she was able to escape early, and then one of her friends called. It was just a messy story. It was just so messy, and I was thinking, how can you go through all of this, right?
Movie.
And just to lie.
Elaborate movie, as in you made up a kidnapping crime scene, ransom, dropped you at a remote place, full movie, something that used to shoot a real movie and make money.
I'm telling you,
women don't do that. Women would not do that. He was like, let's not be deceived. Sometimes there's some things that men do that women do as well, and they do it even worse.
But generally, women are generally slick about it. They won't do this. This is just way too raw, way too elaborate. Women are usually slick now. How they do their own.
That's true,
because
actually.
If it was me, I would have just taken her to police station.
Exactly.
Let's go and file complaint. What's the color of the car that carried you? Where did they carry you?
Exactly. Exactly. But
it's crazy. So people are doing all sorts, right? This period, right? And then you were talking about how when you're talking about self-esteem, right? And I feel like that is what is missing, okay? Because it gets to a point where you have so much self-love, right? And self-worth, okay? And you understand that my destiny, my life, okay, is more than Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day does not actually define, my value as a person.
Yeah.
Right? So there's so much emphasis on Valentine's Day. Like the gifts I receive shows how valuable I am.
The thing I think people need to sit down and deal with is the fact that when we are so obsessed with the love of a human being, when we have the love of God, because everybody's already loved. There's a perfect God out there that loves you. Then you are worried about an imperfect man or woman that does not love you. This person that doesn't love you is human, is not perfect, he's full of flaws. He's not even capable of loving you the way you want to be loved, but you are so obsessed with what they think. Meanwhile, you have not given thought to the fact that there is an almighty God, has no flaws, has no weaknesses, capable of loving you perfectly, and that God thinks you are worth dying for. Right? That God thinks you are all that. Even though you have nothing you can give him, even though you are just one small piece of, person on the face of the earth where there are billions of people, but this God thinks you are special. He thinks you are worth dying for, and is willing to kill his son for you, and he's waiting for you with open arms at all times. He's not just mad. He's not mad at you. He's madly in love with you. He's chasing you every day, and you have not given thought. You are literally depressed because one John, one James, one Jennifer, somewhere doesn't like you. It's just something to me.
It's funny. It's funny, and it just shows sometimes our, can I say, lack of human reasoning. Because if we sat down and really thought about it, like you just said, God is in love with us. He doesn't ask for anything from us. And Valentine's is all about giving to receive. How many presents am I going to get? How many this am I going to get? But God doesn't want all of that. He just wants us as we are, just like this, flawed. Valentine's Day to some people is about going to get your lashes done, your hair done, your everything, looking your best. And there's nothing wrong with looking your best, but God will still love you at your worst. God will still love you with your dry skin, your cracked lips, you looking somehow, looking broke down. But we've got to that level where we think that, wow, what man has to offer me is better than what God has to offer me.
And I just hope that people would actually listen and learn from this, because that is all the worth that you need. And I love, there's this song by is it Anthony Brown? He sings a song, it's called Worth. And the lyrics of that song are so powerful, right? I would advise anyone who is online, afterwards, go and listen to that song. It's called Worth, right? That he thought I was worth saving, right? So you were worth all these things, right? So you're worth so much more. You're valuable, right? You're valuable. Like, God loves you. And because God loves you, that's the most important, right? So that is all the self-worth. That's where we should get our self-worth and get our identity from.
And I saw a comment here that someone said married people telling single people how to feel. So referring to us as married people telling single people how to feel. But I think what people forget is that I didn't roll to be married. I didn't roll out of my mother's womb and I became married. I was not born married. You get, like, all of us were not born married. We've been through it. We've had different, maybe bad relationship or bad, I've had times where I thought, like, oh my God, like, am I actually ugly? There's no one that gave me a Valentine until I knew better. Do you know what I mean? I've had, situations where I received a Valentine's Day gift and I was like, what is this? Or, being ghosted or different things, So people go through different things. But sometimes in these kind of situations, like me and Ayope say, and I'm sure PK, you do the same as well, you say your experience so people don't have to go through that experience as well. You say it for people to learn from. I would never like any babe to feel, or any guy to feel ghosted or feel a certain way because of another person. And if the information we give them can help them, don't think of it as, we don't understand. Oh, we absolutely do understand. And they say that hindsight is a beautiful thing. So from where we are standing, where we can look back and be like, oh, wow, that was a mistake that I could have avoided. We are telling you the mistakes. We're giving you the, what do you call it, baby? Expo. Is it expo? Expo, yeah. Expo, because you know what type of student you are. Expo. We're giving you the expo so that you don't have to go through it.
So that you don't have to go through it. Absolutely. And I'm so glad that you touched on this.
But I think we should speak to the single people watching, as tomorrow is approaching. Let's give them some advice, on what they should do and how they should feel. I think we should jump into that.
Absolutely, absolutely. I would say one piece of advice for a single person is, listen, if being online and watching all of these things, right, is in any way affecting you, if it is in any way making you feel sad or feel lonely, by all means log off.
Yeah.
By all means, shut down anything that would trigger anything like that.
Press
right?
mute.
Anything that will make you feel envious, anything that will make you feel lowly and lonely, right? Mute it, log off, turn it off, switch it off, right? So take your mind off all of those things, right? And focus or set your mind on the things that actually make you happy. Set your mind on the things that you're actually doing, like your work, like your purpose. All right, focus on that, right? On anything that actually gives you life. So if any of these things is taking something away from you, right, then there's no point going to go and look. There's no point going to search. There's no point going to fish. That would continue adding more and more and more to that negative thing. All right, so you don't want to feed it. So what we're saying is that if it is coming, and sometimes this thing is normal, right, where you just feel some sort of jealousy, or you're envious of your friend because your friend is showing this and showing that, you know, when all of those things are coming, right, and there's other tips that we give you, but one of the ways that you want to handle that is to move away, is to close it.
Yeah.
Is this making sense? Is to step away from that, so that you don't just, that's almost like self-inflicting. Because these things can be avoided.
Yeah.
Okay, before you say your own, I just want to jump off the back of what Ayo said. Number one, I totally agree with what Ayo said, and I think it's good advice, to be honest, because some people, you know, would not just be able to deal with all the lovey-dovey that will be going on, you know, online tomorrow. So, yes, some of you need to censor what you're going to watch so that you can keep your mind free. But I will also add that on the long run, you can't always escape. You know, I think one of you mentioned it. I think it's Okonkwo also that mentioned it earlier when you guys just started, that there will always be things happening in people's lives that you don't have yet. You know, you can't really run away from that. Amongst my friends, I was amongst the last that got married. Most of them got married before me, you know, so I had to deal with going for events and meetings where all my minister friends were married and I was single. But I knew what I was waiting for. I knew what I was, you know, looking for. So I didn't let that pressure me. Amongst my friends too, I think I was among the last that had children. Most of my friends now, their kids are in university, you know. But my own first daughter is still in boarding school, like JS2 or something, or year 2. So, you know, because we had to wait for like 8 years. So again, things were happening in their lives that wasn't happening in mine at the time. So I don't think you can run away from that in life. There will always be people, you know, that will be at a stage or a state of life where you are not. Either they buy their house first, they buy their cars first, they get their job first. Those things will always happen. So you really can't run away. So my own advice would be for you to build your emotional muscle enough to see something happening in somebody's life and don't let it lead to your own depression. Now, like Ayo said, at some point you can feel a certain way. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. You are just human. That can happen, but what I need you to realize is that it's just a feeling. So where the real issue lies is what you do with that feeling. All right, you can't throw away that feeling totally because you're human. So that happens once in a while. It's what you do. Judas had that feeling and he actually acted on it. All right, he actually allowed it grow more than it should have grown. So he saw them anointing Jesus' feet with expensive perfume, you know, and he took it more seriously than he should, to the point of going to collect money to betray Jesus. It was from there he went. If you read the story, it was from there he went right to betray Jesus, because he felt, look, this guy is just enjoying ministry, you know, just like we travel about and we post the fun part of the trips. People always people feel these guys are just enjoying their life. I have a lot of haters, you know, right now that just think, you know, these ones are just enjoying life, flying around the world, but they don't realize that for the next 6 weeks, for instance, I'm not going to see my kids physically, you know, for the next 6 weeks. And they're all little kids. My kids are on midterm right now, so all of them are home, but I can't see them. I'm just talking to them on video call and all that for 6 weeks straight. All right, so that's not fun. My kids are not growing. We were grown. That's different. They are all under 12.
Yeah.
So they are literally at the stage where they need us.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
But we don't post that part. You know, for throughout last week, I was limping. If people watched the videos we posted closely, they will notice that I was limping. Some people didn't notice, but some people have sent me a message that they noticed I was. In fact, my instructor sent me a message that he noticed I was limping on the videos. Yes, they were cutting those videos to try not to show it. I was limping because my toe was paining me because of traveling. In fact, I had to wear Skechers with my native and all that. I was going to preach. I had to wear Skechers. I couldn't wear normal shoes. You see, those are things people would not see. PM's feet were swollen. Somebody also sent me that picture that PM's feet are swollen. I should check it out. Now, you know, so there are things we go through, but people are not seeing that. They just see the fun part we post, and it pressures them. So please, you will feel somehow when you feel like, oh, see, Ayope wearing the same face cap, this young fine couple shooting videos, you know, and enjoying their lives, but they don't know what you guys go through behind the scenes. You know, you guys face a lot doing what you do and juggling your normal everyday life, you know, with all the kids, you know, and all that. So you will feel so. That the point is, like, you always see people that seem that they're going on a vacation, going on a boat cruise, they're doing something fun. Some of those people, if you also see their challenges, you will not envy them. So those feelings will come. It's a feeling, and it's just for a few minutes.
Exactly.
The biggest mistake people make is to take their feelings so seriously that they adopt it, receive it, and act on it. So don't do that. The feelings will come and go. Just move on, but don't act on the feeling. Yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love it. Very true. I think for me, what I would advise is, and this is something that I try and do in my day-to-day life as well, is something that I call shifting your focus. Shifting your focus to something else. So I say that because Valentine's Day the thinking mindset is, what about me? God, when me? God, why me? Rather than focusing on yourself, what you have, what you don't have, focus on what you do have. What I discovered today at work is that February is not just for Valentine's. There's also February 19th is called Random Act of Kindness Day, but we never hear about that. So in this kind of situation, Random Act of Kindness got me thinking, Okonkwo, what can you do to be kind to someone? Shifting the focus off myself and focusing on giving someone else a reason to smile, being the reason for someone else to smile rather than me wanting to smile. And the funny thing is, when you bless others, when you make another person smile, when you make another person happy, the joy that comes within you. Absolutely. When you start thanking God for what you have, like, actually, I'm bootless, but I got a job, I got a life, I am going to be somebody's boo one day, I'm in good health. So I'm all about shifting the focusing on something else, because really I think as human beings we can be very, not just single people, married people, everyone, we can have a pity party. Oh my God, we love to feel sorry for ourselves. We love to feel so. I was telling Ayo the other day, even my 2-year-old, she was doing, I don't know, my other girl was showing us a mark on her arm. Then my 2-year-old came from nowhere, mommy, see, I said,
she was looking for the same attention.
She was looking for the same attention, feeling sorry for herself. There was nothing there. And I think when we feel sorry for ourselves, the devil just pushes us to just shift away from joy, shift away from gratitude, all the things that God has told us to have. So I think sometimes Valentine's Day is that time where people shift away from joy. They feel about, oh God, am I a spoon? Am I an onion? You are not a spoon, my dear. You are not an onion. You know? You are the son and the daughter of the Most High. Exactly. So shift your focus. Focus on the good. Focus on what you have, not what you don't have.
Before you say your next one, please don't forget, if you're in Scotland, we're coming to Scotland live, me and Pastor Mildred, Aberdeen, Glasgow. please look out for us. Even if you're in Edinburgh, I'll be preaching there on a Sunday morning for a friend. So if you're in Scotland, you can't miss us this March. First weekend in March, we'll be there. Hopefully the weather will be better. That's why I'll put it in March. So please come out. It'll be a great time if you're anywhere in Scotland. And if you're in the UK, like London and the rest, look out for the book tour. Pastor Mildred is doing one-man book tour in London. We're also preaching in different churches in London. So please look out for us. We would like to meet up with you. Get your tickets if you are in Scotland. Tickets are available in the link on my bio or www.ldmwithpktour.com. So please, we'll look forward to seeing you guys. All right. And if you're in Canada, we'll be in Edmonton and Saskatoon. So look out for us also in those cities. But you guys need to come for one of these tours outside the UK. Everything must not be inside UK. You guys need to come for one of the events.
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
We are actually working on it.